Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. We have a wonderful guest in studio. It's Matt Minarek. He's the owner of Allegra Marketing, Print, and Mail. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you very much for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what your company's all about. What do you do?
We help small to medium-sized businesses and nonprofits like yourself target and acquire new customers, protect and grow your existing customers, and develop a strong brand. The way we do that is we have about 6 different service lines that kind of help you do that. We offer traditional print, large format printing, promotional products. We have graphic designers to help design your marketing materials needs. And we also can do direct mail.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
And how do you help that small business with all those big challenges of marketing? It's tough to get your dollar to stretch as much as we need it to.
I think the biggest challenges customers face is knowing their target audience. That is really the key to producing great marketing materials. Once you have a better idea of what the target audience is, you can develop marketing materials that are right for your customer. And it's different for every customer. Some customers have different needs than others. And so one of the keys at Allegra is what we try to do is really dig down and get to know our customers. So that way we can figure out what solutions fit best for them.
I think that's wonderful, because I think oftentimes as a small business person or not-for-profit, I'm a little bit into my business, so I don't necessarily know my audience anymore, or I don't know how to reach them, or what's new and trending. So I appreciate that. What are some of the biggest mistakes that people tend to make? Well,
definitely the biggest mistake that small businesses make with their marketing materials is a lack of consistency. The overall goal of creating a strong brand is making sure it's the same every time you experience it. And so when you're looking at your marketing materials, you got to make sure both your online and your offline marketing materials have that consistency. And so that means by figuring out what message you're trying to convey. What does the world want to see from your company? Once you figure out what you want the world to see, then you can start breaking it down into the details of what pieces of marketing materials will go into that overall goal.
It's I think a struggle oftentimes to be consistent, because especially with budgets, I had a little money here, so I did something there, and then I had a little money and I did something there, and sometimes I don't reference what I've done before. So I think that's a little bit hard. How do you help your customers figure out, I come to you and I have this inconsistencies all over the place. How do you help me? How do you get me started with?
Well, the first thing I would say, if we were just meeting, to have you ever conducted a brand audit?
And the answer would be no.
No, yeah. Well, what do you mean by a brand audit?
Yeah.
Well, it's really going into all your marketing materials and looking at them and saying, hey, do we need to keep this? Is this still providing the message that we wanted? And so you kind of break it into different groups, like, do we need to revise it? Does it need to go away completely? Does it not fit anymore? And then develop kind of what new marketing materials kind of that you see that you need in the future.
And do you do this both for online and offline items? Talk to me a little bit about how you work the two together.
With both offline and online, yes. What we would do is look at your website to see what kind of messages they're putting out there. And then for the offline materials, we would look at when was the last time you had updated these things. Mm-hmm. And a lot of companies will find that they don't like the answer that they give. It's been many years since they've looked at these things. And really, I'm going one by one and just saying, hey, is this message is this what your company is about? And always asking yourself, is this the message, having in the back of your mind, is this the message that you're trying to convey? Is this accomplishing this goal? Or is it just not effective anymore?
Right. Well, I think a lot of times companies, because we have so many avenues now, we have offline and we have our online stuff, and that includes our social media, that you have to keep that brand consistent across all of that platform. So it's a little bit longer now. It's a bigger. How do you help us with an action plan? And what kind of action plan are we talking about?
Yeah, one thing companies don't realize that they do, they grow as they get older. Mm-hmm. And when they start out, they have different needs, and then they evolve over time. So what worked in the past not necessarily works in the future. So a lot of companies get lost in that. Is their marketing materials are still representing a company that was in the past and not in the future.
Well, and often using marketing materials from the past instead of the future future, like a brochure versus maybe some social media, or maybe, instead of having cool flyers and big stuff now, which seems to be trending really well.
Yes.
I'm still got my little, 3-fold brochure.
Yeah, the trifold brochure is a staple for sure.
It is. How do you help me with that? Going back to the action plan, how do you take? Because I'm sure when customers first come into you, they're a little overwhelmed. We've done the brand audit, and I'm like, oh my. And then how do you take that panicked feeling that people have, and walk me through it? And how long does that take?
Well, the first thing I say is, once we do the brand audit and we kind of figure out an action plan. But first, it's always, hey, take a deep breath. Everything's going to be all right. We'll fix this thing. At Allegra, we're trying to take your marketing headache and make it go away.
Great.
So what we would do then is we'd sit down and we'd come up with an action plan, and we'd figure out which ones can we fix quickly, knock those out as fast as possible, and then come up with a timeline after that of saying, hey, let's look at the online stuff, go over that, and then move on and just knock it out one at a time. Prioritize which ones are the best ones, which ones are need fixing first.
Right. Well, and that helps because the business doesn't start as you are helping me with this. The business keeps going, so I got to keep business going and updates to that. So it's nice to have an action plan.
Right.
Now you have a neat thing that the idea that you also have a web portal. So some of my marketing material that you help me create, it becomes a little bit more accessible for me.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah. One of the big trends with marketing materials these days is kind of like the idea of web to print, meaning people like to have a website. Think Amazon. Think about your own personal Amazon site for all your marketing materials needs. So we would develop some branded material. And then we'd put them on the website, and then companies throughout your organization. If you have this actually works really well if you have multiple locations for your company. They can go on the website and pick out what marketing materials they need, order them right then, and get them printed out in smaller quantities, because the days of having stacks of brochures laying around, is kind of like the thing of the past. So having the web portal will allow their employees to kind of print everything as needed, as opposed to all at once and then wait for them to be outdated and having to reprint thousands more. So it keeps your brand fresh. And it keeps very accessible, and it's on demand. Those are probably the biggest things about having the web portal.
Matt, thanks for stopping by and sharing with me all the things that you do and how you can help me take my brand to the next level as my business grows. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Liz. It was great to be here today.
We'll be right back with more Business Connections. Stay tuned.